Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious D and Double OT Terrific Trav. How you fellas doing today?
I can see now. I'm here.
Hey, as always, we're ready to rock.
It rained earlier, so yeah, you can see clearly now, man. And I'm really excited about today's interview because we have a guest up here. We've interviewed a lot of people that have done voiceover work on Fena Pirate Princess, and this is a guest that I feel like has eluded us. Not because he was actually eluding us himself, but I feel like it's just like, because of the circles and the
Slip
ether
through the
and all that
cracks.
stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And, that is voice actor. Somebody is from BA, Mr. Brandon Winckler. Brandon, how are you doing today?
How did I get here? Wait, where am I? Who are you people?
You're in the Omniverse.
Yeah, welcome.
Wow.
Nah, hey guys, thank you so much for having me. Super glad to be here. It's crazy how things happen. Sometimes your schedule just gets so busy with things that I cannot talk about yet, sadly. Which it's like that. I have so much right now that's just on the back burner, and my social media has been so quiet, and I'm just like, when can I announce any of this? And it's just no things are happening. And
I know NDAs, man. You got.
We know.
Those contracts. Like if you look off to the side of the room, we actually have a sniper in the corner. He's just always on standby.
I can see. We see the red dot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be careful. But
it's okay, Greg. It's all right. I'm not going to say anything. Just
he got Agent Smith standing in the corner of the room.
But before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And D, like you say every time,
as always, other episodes of the podcast found in the description. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel, and thank you all for watching and listening.
That's right. And Trav, your tip of the day.
The tip of the day, look, man, when they got the red beam on you, be careful.
Be cool. Just be cool.
Yeah, man.
Be cool.
Oh, my God. Hey, it's the Punisher, and he got the new logo on his chest.
That's right.
You got to be careful. So, let's go ahead and get into this interview. So, story time. Like, we gotta tell the story. It's just like when you watch Ant-Man, and
I thought you was force choking for a minute. I see you with the force choke.
So, reeling it back in, going back to the beginning. So, like I said, we interviewed a bunch of people who were on Fena Pirate Princess, and we become friends with them, and we're friends on Facebook and whatnot. And like, Brandon, you come up on my friend suggestion, and I was just like, who is this Brandon Winckler guy? Like, why does he keep coming up on my friend suggestions? And I was just like, I'm not going to add him because they don't know who I am and whatnot. And I work at my job, right? And these two girls who I work with, like, they were just like, I told them that I have a podcast, we interview voice actors and whatnot, and they were just like, oh, do you know somebody named Brandon Winckler? And, I got to make sure that I say their names because they told me to make sure that I say their names, and that's Kendall and Robin. And Robin was like, yeah, I know this girl, and she knows Brandon. And I was just like, well, what's her name? And it was just like, her name is Cheyenne. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Oh, I know Cheyenne. I know exactly who that is.
It's all connected.
So wait. Are you from my neck of the woods? Are you in the Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach area?
757.
Yeah, hey, well, look, this is the 757. Trav is more from your neck of the woods. Me and D, we're here in North.
Boys over here.
Yeah, the Chesapeake boys.
Yes. Did you happen to go to NecoCon by chance?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I was there. Did we meet?
The past
year
NecoCon that just passed?
Yeah.
No, we didn't go this past year.
No.
We were there.
Oh, y'all did. I didn't though.
Yeah, that's the one you sat out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
right.
So see, you were there. See, but you see what I mean? It's just like, it's all connected.
Eluding us.
We're finally interviewing you, and it's just wild. And then we interviewed Daryl J. Delphin, and he was just like, Brandon, that's my dude. It's just like, we're brothers on Fena, and we're brothers in real life, and You know, it's crazy how the world works, and now we finally have you up here. And I had to tell that story because it's been an epic, bizarre adventure, and I'm just happy that we finally got you up here. So
I want to do that to him.
She's really, really great at what she does, by the way. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like any of her actual work, but she kills it in the hair game. Like, I'll see your stuff.
Banks, are we talking about the Cheyenne that we know?
No, not the Cheyenne that you know, but
okay.
my Kendall, she sent me Cheyenne's Instagram because I had told her, I was just like, hey, we're interviewing Brandon, and she's like, oh, well, make sure that you say me and Robin's name. And I was just like, well, who's the girl that knows him? And she sent me Cheyenne's Instagram, and I was just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna make sure I mention Cheyenne. I'm gonna make sure I mention you guys. And they said send me the episode because they want to hear it because they support in VA. You know, 757, put your V up, the A down. And
yes, I missed it. I missed it immensely.
And I mean, well, you know, our Chesapeake, you know,
we don't get a
it's
chance.
nothing out there. They only got a Hardee's and trees. That's all they got.
Hardee's and trees.
You got
schools,
Chesapeake Square Mall, and
that ghost
we
town.
We gotta talk about that
ghost town.
Yeah, yummy teriyaki.
Hey, Yummy's gone, bro. They shut down.
What?
Yeah, Yummy. Bro,
Pandemic?
homegirl, she used to stay giving out the free samples with Yummy. They gone, man. Broke my heart when I went in there. They was gone. Yeah, Yummy.
Michael.
Gone. Michael came and got him. That's right.
I'll take everything you got.
Hey, Brandon, since you left, Trav been holding down the fort, man. He been trying to.
I thought you were about to start singing Kelly Clarkson for some reason.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
But I mean, you know, since we're here and I had to get the story out of the way, you know, Brandon, the first question I always ask all of our guests is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So, you know, tell everybody who you are and tell everybody why you left Chesapeake.
All right.
Okay.
Well, all right. Let's start way back in the beginning. So, my name's Brandon Winckler. I'm a voice actor here in Los Angeles, California. I've done tons of stuff from Sword Art Online to Fire Emblem to Pokemon to it feels like the list is ever expanding, and I am so grateful for that. And
hell yeah.
Yeah. And so where I got my start was actually in Portsmouth, Virginia. I grew up in Portsmouth, Virginia. And I had no plans on being an actor ever in my life until I had graduated high school and I went to college to study music. I went to Lynchburg, Virginia, to Liberty University to study music, and I was like, oh, this place is not for me. And so I ended up leaving there, and I ended up going to TCC, Tidewater Community College, for a few years. And you know, they were really great, and you know, it was you know, they tried their best to teach me things, but I was that kid who like I skipped class, and like I just, nothing was like really gripping me over there. The general education sort of thing was like just not calling to me, and I was really struggling with like figuring out what I wanted to do. And so but I had all this studio equipment that I had from like pursuing music back in the day. So I was watching anime at the time. I've always been a huge anime fan. I was watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Soul Eater. Man, I'm trying to think. Good one. Man, it was like, I like to call it like the anime renaissance. Like there was just a time where like everything that was being put out there was gold.
Yeah.
Damn
and,
right. Yep.
Yeah, and it was like nothing was like a boring watch. Like I watched Kenichi, I watched, you know, I was always a big fan of Dragon Ball. You know, like I kind of just one day noticed that dubs were a thing, and I was like, wait a minute, people like do this and they get paid and they like create legacies, and you know, they're actors. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. So I looked into it. It was like a Google search one day, you know, and I was like, I have this studio equipment. Maybe if I like try playing around with it, you know, and maybe something will happen. You know, I had never planned to go pro. It was just one of those things where it's like, it's something to do in between classes during free time. Maybe I'll make friends. And so the first thing I ever did was I made my own stuff. Like I did my own fan dubs and things like that, and I made a Tales of Symphonia like OVA fan dub.
Nice.
Yeah, and I had like I had like really delved into like Voice Acting Alliance and those sites, and I put up a casting call and just got a bunch of people together, and I was like, yeah, let's make this happen. And the problem with fan dubs those days, or these days, or any time during history, is that they would never see the light of day. But I was determined to have that not be the case. I didn't care how terrible it sounded. And so I went ahead and put it all together, and I put it out there, and boy, the sound mixing was terrible and awful. And but I didn't put myself in the dub or anything. I was just kind of like, I want to see if this is just something that I enjoy doing, and I really enjoyed doing it. And so then finally I started actually auditioning for things that would never see the light of day. And about a year after that, I had stopped. I had completely stopped because I got my own place. I was moved in with my girlfriend at the time, and I had another buddy from voiceover there with me, whose name is Sean Haynes. He's over in that area too. He's a really chill guy. Basically I like took a back seat to acting. I had no plans, none at all. And then I ended up getting a job as a flight attendant because my mom and dad were like, well, you gotta do something, why not be a flight attendant? You get to travel the world for free, you get to stay in a major city. And I was like, oh man, this is a big choice. So eventually, I got the job, which was surprising to me. I was like, there's no way I'm getting this job. And I got the job. And they were like, okay, you're moving out to New York. And so my mom, funny enough, of all people, who like is not like on the outside, she's not very creative, but on the inside, she's incredibly right. Into all of that stuff. She was like, well, since you're in a major market, why don't you, actually try? And
mom came in clutch.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like, oh, we'll see when we get there. So I brought my stuff with me. All I had was a preamp and a AT2020 microphone. And I went to New York, and I just one day when I was not flying, I was like, maybe she's right. Maybe I should give it a shot. I had never taken an acting class in my life. Don't do that. If you're trying to be a professional voice actor, please take some acting classes. And so I just signed up for some like really small classes, like some commercial classes, some free stuff I could find around New York City. And I improv'd a demo reel in one night, and I sent it out to a whole bunch of studios in New York City. And I got some calls back, and they were like, hey, why don't you come in? You'll audition, all that stuff. And my first ever audition was for like, I think it was like the Google Home Voice, which was interesting. And then my second audition ever was for Pokemon, the new season, which was, they were just, I think it was the Alola regions. I remember I met Lisa Ortiz there, and I freaked out, like internally and externally, because I had never been to an audition like that in my life. Like I had to dub, and she's like, oh, I really love your voice. Like, I think you have something going here. And, never worked on Pokemon, the series, but I left with kind of like a new found, like, oh, maybe I can do this sort of thing in my head. And so I kept auditioning for stuff, and I eventually booked Green Goblin in this little mobile game called Marvel Avengers Academy. And that was like my very first like real thing. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. Like, they paid me really bad, but like it was still one of those things where it was like, I get to be attached to Green Goblin in some sense.
Yeah.
Somewhat of a scientist yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. much of a scientist myself. Yes, but basically, yeah, I got to do that, and then ended up doing a bunch of little odd jobs here and there, and like again, like I was not really taking that many acting classes. I had an acting teacher out in the middle of the city that I would just spend hours going from New Jersey to New York, like just to like have like a 45-minute lesson, and then spend the rest of the day in the city, just like observing people and like experiencing that sort of life, which I love New York and I wish I could go back, but
nice city, man.
The animation field was so barren out there. It was all commercial, it was all Broadway, it was all these things that like didn't really call to me and like were really like they were different. So eventually I had a friend who was like, hey, I'm moving out to LA, gonna miss you. And I was like, hey, do you need a roommate? And so they were kind enough to let me go with them, and using my flight attendant powers, I was able to kind of return the favor. I was like, here, you can fly anywhere in the world for free, why not? And so they did like I think they went to like Amsterdam, Denver, like a bunch of places, like, and they enjoyed those free flights, and I enjoyed the privilege of being able to switch bases. So I switched my base from New York to San Francisco, and ended up moving to Los Angeles. And then anytime I had a trip, I would just fly up north to San Fran, which is an hour flight maybe. And I ended up sending out a demo reel out there. And I think the first thing I ever booked was with Bang Zoom Entertainment, and that was Ace Combat 7. And then I booked something with NYAV Post, and then I booked my first ever lead role, which was Jason in a show called Mech Hard, which absolutely flopped. I think Mattel got sued for copying Bakugan or something.
Right.
Yeah, and then after that, I booked my second lead, which was Theo in Record of Grand Crest War, which is on Netflix, and I then booked a bunch of other stuff, and then I booked Yu-Gi-Oh! In SAO, which is where things really kind of like, like shot off. And the crazy thing is, I wasn't like a great actor, to be honest. I needed a lot of guidance, and I needed a lot of classes. And I'm very lucky to still be working today because of people like Alex Von David, who were really, he's the director of SAO. Chris Kaysen, who was the director of Grand Crest 4. Both of them incredibly patient and kind people. And really, if it wasn't for them being so patient with me and like letting me learn as I go, I don't think I'd still be doing it. If I'm being honest, like SAO in particular was the show that kind of like it was like I was in a cocoon and I came out and I was like, I'm ready for this now. Like at first I the way I like to describe it is I went into the voice acting field as a fan.
Yeah.
And you really have to be more than that. You have to be a great actor, you have to be a businessman, you have to be professional, you have to be all these things that really not a lot of people will tell you. That's, and now I get to do this. I think I work almost every single week at least, which is great for me because I'm still, in my eyes, I'm still getting my feet settled. I've only been doing this for like maybe 5 years now. I'm really grateful to have had this success I've had till now, and I'm crossing my fingers and hoping more comes down the pipeline, because you never know with this industry. Like it's either sink or swim, and my camera is doing a weird thing. But anyway, that's my story so far. Man, there's a ton that has happened.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a nice long origin story.
Hell yeah.
We've been getting some really long ones as of late, and what you just said, like it could definitely be like a TV movie, a TV series on how you became a voice actor. And I was don't say Lifetime, please, because if it was on Lifetime, Brandon would be the villain. You know, we don't
Yeah,
need,
it's true.
you know, but no, that's an awesome origin story, man. And, you know, I'm just happy that, you know, to piggyback off of something that you said was that when you were taking these roles, and it's just like you were learning as you go, you know, and you kept on growing. And, you know, it's like sometimes you don't always get those opportunities. And like you said, you sink or swim, and, you know, either you're going to sink or you're going to keep on swimming. Or D likes to say, some people slide. I don't know what's going on with you. Some people
He's sliding right now is what it is.
Yeah.
Some people slide and some people miss.
Some people miss and some people slide.
Uh-huh.
Like I just did.
That means whatever you want it to mean.
That's right.
But, you know, I just love that, you know, in your origin story, how you were talking about, you know, you loved anime and you wanted to do the fan dubbing stuff. And I feel like anybody that is a fan of anime, it's just like they're always just like, oh, you know, I see these dubs on YouTube and whatnot, and these guys, it's like they get popular off of it. You know, let me try that. Let me see how that works out. And sometimes it works. And I mean, you hear stories all the time. Like we've interviewed people, like Kira Buckland, for example, whose interview you can either listen to or watch here on YouTube. And, you know, she was talking about how like she was doing stuff on YouTube and what's the other thing? Newgrounds, just doing stuff up there. And, you know, eventually it leads to other stuff. And, you know, look at what she's doing now. So, you know, one of the animes that I wanted to talk about, well, you know, I want to pass the ball to D because this is an anime that, you know,
hey, give it to me.
He keeps trying to get Trav to watch it, you know, for a long time.
It's a sweet show.
For a long time, he was telling me to watch it, and I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm on episode 15 now out of 25.
Such a good show.
Such a good show.
And that is Kuroko's basketball. So
Kuroko.
You got to be Shun. You know, we'll call him the home team. Yeah, Izuki. On Izuki. And you got the Eagle Eye. He's one of I think it's very cool. He's not like he's one of I think he's the vice captain of the team. And such a cool character. What was it like working on that project, man? It's one of my favorite anime.
That project, funny enough, was hectic.
Oh wow, talk about it.
Yeah, we had 3 different directors.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy because I started recording as Izuki on not episode 1, but episode 7.
Wow.
So, yeah, we were kind of just thrown into it, and they were like, hey, you're on a team, you're doing this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. So the crazy thing is, and this just goes to show how talented all the directors were, you know, we were still able to get a great dub out of it, you know? But for a lot of the time, me personally, I was really I was confused. I was like, what's happening right now? Like, I think it was someone named Courtney. I can't remember their last name because they were only with us for a short time on the show. But then you had Jalen Castle and Koida. They were all directing. And they would like switch off between volumes, which is like a set of episodes. Right. And they're really great. They're all wonderful. Koi's always so funny to work with because, you know, he's Koi. If you've ever met Koi, he's like you guys allow cussing, right?
Oh yeah, you're okay.
Right,
everybody gets one F-bomb.
Yeah, that's
sweet,
it.
Wonderful. Yeah, no, Koi is like a shit poster if like he was like a person. like if you could take the personification of one of those and just put it into a friendly individual, like that's Koi. Like he's hilarious. Like he's so funny, and he makes working so much fun. And my goodness, this camera just needs to cooperate, please.
Honestly, I think it's cool. I think that the camera keeps on moving around.
Don't touch it too much.
Agent
Smith might get suspicious.
Something here. Follow me, camera.
Yeah, see, it keeps falling.
I feel like we're in the Blair Witch Project right now.
If you find this.
But yeah, so Kuroko, it was a little hectic at first, and even towards the end, I felt really bad about that show, if I'm being honest, because like I feel like I could have given so much more of a performance if like I had paid attention a little more, because we were so all over the place half the time that I didn't even realize like it was the final match when we were recording it. I was just like, okay, we're playing basketball.
Yeah.
Not much has changed, you know? And it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is the final match. Oh, okay. And so, like, yeah, it's interesting because, you know, everybody has a different experience. And, you know, for me, Kuroko was such a long experience, but it was so all over the place that like I at times was like, oh man, it feels like it's never ending, and it feels like it's like when you open a book and you lose your place, you know, it's like, I was on chapter 3. Oh wait, what's going on in chapter 7? And then you realize like halfway through, oh snap, I'm on the wrong page. You know, it's like one of those situations. It wasn't bad. I really enjoyed Kuroko, and I love any time that I get to work on something like that. And I'm super grateful to keep working. And you know, so it was a lot of fun. Like I love Izuki as a character. You know, his puns and things like that. You know, his I wish you could have delved into his character a bit more, other than the puns. But there's so many characters, you know, that you have to give everything the proper amount of spotlight.
Exactly.
And ultimately, this story is about Kagami and Kuroko.
Correct.
You know, and so and the you know, generation of miracles. And so yeah, so like it's one of those things. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun to get to work on that show. Yeah, so yeah, I love Kuroko.
Great answer, man.
Now, is that not something that typically happens in anime versus like, you know, when they're doing movies, it's all out of scenes anyways, you know what I mean? They never record from the start of the movie to the end of the movie, but it seems like in anime, it's kind of like they go by episode 1, 2, 3. So is this the only time something like that has happened, and why was it done that way, do you know?
So, from what I understand, Netflix had a deadline for us. And hold on, I'm gonna make my camera go down here. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so Netflix had a deadline for our production company, which was Bang Zoom. Bang Zoom worked on the dub. And from what I understand, like it was just a lot about meeting deadlines, and we had to like make this one weird, but that's typically not how you do it. Typically we handle dubs and volumes, which is like a set of 4 episodes at a time. And so everybody kind of has the moment to breathe. Like your writers have time to write, your spotters have time to spot, and you know, we typically, or the directors have time to, you know, handle each actor as they come in, and you know, we work on that volume and then we move on to the next volume. And so with Kuroko, it was a bit different because everything was kind of like, we were like, oh snap, we have deadlines to meet. And you know, so the decision was made to handle different volumes with different directors all at the same time. So we would just get in, like do like a certain amount of episodes, and then be like, all right, so these episodes are done being written, let's handle these now. It was just all about meeting deadline, and you know, it was a crazy experience, but like seeing it all come together, it was like okay, good, it was worth it.
So, I feel like your camera's on a drone too, by the way. I mean, this is crazy.
I just want to.
I'm using my iPad, which it's hanging from my actual desktop because for some reason Mac doesn't love to run. Hold on, there we go. Yeah, and Mac doesn't love to run Zoom anymore for some reason ever since the update. So whatever.
I will say though, with your character from Kuroko, it kind of matched up because I would have loved to get more story on him and a few other characters, you know, obviously. But I thought that he got, I mean, especially towards the end, he was super important in the final match. Oh, you know, obvious. Well, most of them were, even the backups. So it was, I just want to say, I thought you did a phenomenal job, man. And, you know, it was a chill role.
Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Banks?
Yeah. So, you know, I wanted to ask you now, because you had mentioned that you had got your first lead role on Mecha as Jason. And I wanted to know, like, how was it being a lead character on a show compared to, you know, being a supporting character on other shows?
Well, and to be honest, man, to be really honest, I'd only done like Walla, which is like supporting bit roles, once before I took on Jason. So I went from having like no experience at all in voiceover to doing a lead role like that. And it was a lot of pressure because you don't realize how unrefined you are starting off. You know, like me in particular, I struggle with like speech impediments and, you know, like things like that. Like that I had to like hammer out over like the process of recording. And good Lord, this camera. Okay. Yeah, but it was crazy because I would go into a session and it took me probably twice as long at first to record than it did everybody else, because everybody else has experience and everybody else, you know, like came from these really big acting backgrounds. And, you know, it's amazing to me to see, you know, the patience and kindness that everybody showed me back then, because if I were to like go back and do it now, like it's crazy, because even I was working with someone recently, I can't say because I can't, but I had worked with them before.
Yeah, it's okay.
And they were like, "Hey, Brandon, I just want you to know, like, you're a badass. Like the change that I've seen in you as you've started and since now, is remarkable. And, you know, if anyone were to ever ask me, like, hey, what do you think about Brandon as this character? Like, I would fight for you every time." And that to me just shows how much as an actor I've grown, and, you know, have been blessed to, you know, get to play these characters regardless of, you know, my experience. And you know, don't get me wrong, as soon as I started working on those lead roles, I was like, oh, I have to step up my game. I have to take classes. I have to, you know, work with people who have been doing this for years. And you know, there were days where it was hard. There were days where I could not get out the lines. There were days that I could not fit the flaps. But we got through it, you know, and you know, I'm super grateful to even be still working in the industry, because trust me, like there was a time where I was like, I don't think like I'm doing a great job.
Yeah.
And at least compared to now, you know, these days I'm just like, oh, thank goodness that
that you went through those hardships.
Weather the storm.
Right. Yeah. You got to.
Have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like us being podcasters, man, it's just like we know how it feels, where it's just like we do episodes all the time, especially back then, and it's just like, man, do we really want to keep doing this? Because, you know, a lot of people who start podcasts, Trav, wasn't there somebody else called Leveling Up that was doing what we were doing, and they were only around for like a year or something, and then we came. So it's just, you know, after a while, I feel like once you figure out what you want to do and what direction you want to go in, then you'll just keep on going up from there. You'll keep leveling up, you know? And, you know, you didn't give up. You kept on going. And I mean, I know earlier on you said that you have so many roles that you can't talk about, but, you know, that's a good thing that you have so many roles that you've done, you know, coming from Chesapeake, coming from Portsmouth, Virginia, you know, it's amazing. Like, we love it when we see people from Virginia, you know, make it out of Virginia, you know?
Hell
you
yeah.
know, we interviewed Jamie Gray, and she's from Virginia. And you can either listen to or watch her episode up here on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, you hear the stories of, you know, honestly, like there's really nothing here in Virginia. I feel like it's good to get out of Virginia.
Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a military town, dude. It's either you're a doctor, you're a teacher, or you're at the shipyard.
Yeah,
or,
in the shipyard.
Yeah, shipyard or in law, you know, because it's
law too.
You know,
or mailman.
So it's like, you know, I'm really happy. I'm really happy that it's like you didn't give up. You kept on chasing your dream, and I mean, going back to where you started at to where you are right now, man, you put the pinkies up for that. And you know, now I want to talk a little bit about Fena Pirate Princess, because like that's one of the things that I love is that we've interviewed so many of the cast from that show, and I feel like Fena is going to be the next anime series where it's just like We've interviewed almost half the cast from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable, and now Fena Pirate Princess. I feel like we're going to interview everybody from that as well. So let's talk about that. How was it working on Fena?
Fena was amazing. It was a great recording experience. We did everything from home, and it was one of those situations where I could tell from the very beginning, like, oh man, if anything, like the animation and the characters are going to be special in this show. And I wasn't far off. I think, if I'm being honest, I think the story could kind of lost its track later in the series. But this is me speaking as an anime fan, not as, as an opinion of my employers. I'm sorry, guys. I love you all. But no, like I loved working on Fena because when we first got the footage, typically when you dub, you get the finished animation and everything's done. And it's like, yeah, you just have to fit the flaps. And, for us, like, we got like non-finished materials. So you got to see like a little bit behind the scenes and, like still like sketches being drawn out. And, I remember seeing the Goblin crew, like, first when they first arrived on the island, and it was all just concept art still, and we were dubbing to concept art, and it was so cool. And or was it storyboards, sorry. We were dubbing to storyboards, and getting to play Enju was so fun because he's such a crazy character, and working alongside Daryl, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, who better, because Daryl is such a firecracker, and he is such a good fit for Kaede, and like matches the level of the excitable brother like perfectly. And he's so talented too. Like I've known Daryl for a long time, and I'm so glad that the industry is finally getting him in, and letting him shine a bit, because he's worked so hard, and I've seen like all the passion and determination he puts into everything that he does in his life. And I'm just like, good for you. Working with Michael and Stephanie again were amazing. They're always amazing to work with because they're so detail oriented when it comes to their actors and what's going on in the scene. Sometimes when you're in the booth, depending on how much time you've got, people are just like, all right, just get it done. We don't care what it sounds like. Let's just get this, done. Just make sure the acting sounds passable and we'll move on. For Michael and Stephanie and NYAV Post, the acting takes priority every time. And, passable is not good enough. They want things to be excellent every single time. And I love working with people like that care so deeply about their projects that they're willing to, push their actors to the next level every time. And I think the dub came out great. Like, I've heard people I think it's one of the better English dubs of the current gen, which I'm like, this is great. And I really wish we would get a season 2 because each one of these characters is so unique, and we could learn so much about them and build upon them all. And I would love to see that in the future. I have my fingers crossed, but I have not heard anything.
You gotta have your fingers crossed and your pinky up. That's what you gotta do, man.
Seriously, these Crunchyroll originals, man, they keep you on your toes. Okay, I got it. I'm working on another Crunchyroll original, which is Inspector, I did work on Inspector. Right. I'm Kuroko, Inspector. And season 2 got delayed till 2023, and I'm like, no! I want so badly for season 2 to come out because I loved working on that show. I'm excited to see where the journey takes us next.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but as far as Fena goes, Fena, amazing. I loved working on that show. No regrets at all. I think some of my best performances come from that show. And just, it was so fun because, we all got the cast together I forgot what I was gonna say. But we got the cast together, and we were all able to enjoy the first episode. And I remember watching the opening and just thinking, "This is gorgeous! Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it was such a well animated and gorgeous show, and I would, props to the production IG on that, and just it was amazing. It was great to work on.
Yeah, one of the things that I've said whenever we've interviewed somebody that's been on Fena is that, like, I would love for there to be a movie, because D and Trav, they're huge One Piece fans, and like one of the things that D always says is the reason why One Piece has been going on for so long is because it's the open ocean and they're on an adventure. So there's so many stories that you can tell. And that's how I feel like with Fena. It's just like how it wraps up. It's like she gets her memories back and whatnot, and then they just set sail and go on another adventure. So it would just be interesting to see, more on the characters, because I mean, we get some backstory on some of the characters, but it's not much. And it would be cool to, dive deeper into, everybody's backstories and just go from there, man. Like I would love for there to be a movie to come out to show like what everybody's been doing, and then bam, then do a season 2.
Then bam.
Oh yeah. I think it's amazing. I would love to see season 2, especially they wrote it in such a way where it's like, you have so many possibilities now. Like you can absolutely take the concept of someone who's lost their memories and getting to relearn who these people are, and testing the friendships that they have and things like that. I think the character-driven stories are so well rewarded when they're done right. So I would love to see that. It beats. I've seen too many isekai in the past 3-5 years to be like, not another one of these, please.
No, but I think
no shade if you like isekai. If you like isekai,
no, for sure,
good on you. But it's like I'd love to see more character-driven stories.
Yeah, and I think that's the cool thing about Crunchyroll getting involved in these original animations. Teaming up with Toonami and doing the Blade Runner, Black Lotus stuff, and they're doing all their stuff, and it's because that's always kind of been like the disconnect between dubbing anime and doing cartoons is when you're doing the cartoons, it's like they're mapping the flaps to you. You know what I mean? When you get those DC original movies and those Hollywood animation movies, like they're working around the dialogue versus the dialogue working around the animation. So it's cool now that you're in that club now, you know what I mean? Working on original material.
Yeah, it was great. And there was still a lot of dubbing involved. I still matched the flaps for a lot of Fena. But, even getting the slight chance to have that prelay experience with an anime, was great. And I've worked on other prelay stuff that still hasn't released yet, but it's one of those things where it's like I love the freedom that, not having to match flaps gives you. It's such a subtle thing, and you can still make a performance work, when you're matching flaps. But, when you're getting to create everything from scratch,
you're not as limited.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
Right. There you go.
So, yeah.
And especially working with NYAV Post, and these guys will tell you I've been preaching it for a year now. They're the best dubbing company out in the world right now. I mean, Michael and Stephanie are just the best at what they're doing right now. And I just love everything that NYAV does, man. Everything they do is top notch.
It's fire.
It's fire. And it goes to what you were saying, Brandon. They just care. You could tell how much they care about the product because everything they put out, the English dub is top notch.
For sure.
We've all seen the dubs that aren't. You know what I mean?
We've seen a few out there, but I will say, everybody who works in this industry, they do care. They do care. NYAV, they just happen to, I think they just, it's a combination of care and just just something special that they have.
I was going to say, do you think it's just good decision making? Like, does that sometimes make a bad dub? Is just the wrong decision making, like not necessarily that anybody's bad.
Yeah, I don't think any like real dub that comes out these days is bad.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, it's come a long way.
Yeah.
We're way past the
1000%.
We know.
Hello, I am this person in the in the camp. You know, it's I don't know.
Like Kung Fu Theater.
Camp. I'm like
Kung Fu Theater.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, everybody works so hard in this industry, and when you see something special come out, you have to give praise because you know we're given such tight deadlines. We're given such you know, like sometimes it feels crazy, you know, like it's like, all right, we have to dub 24 episodes. Okay, how long? Like 3 months.
It's just like I got other stuff that I got to dub too.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, so like anytime I see like a great show like that come out, I'm like, I have to give you praise. So they do good work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful to have been a part of it. And, you know, like, I hope I get to work with them much more in the future.
Nice. So, you know, now I want to ask you, when you're not lending your voice to anime and video games, what are some of your hobbies that you're into?
Oh my gosh, I love video games. I'm constantly like, living in LA is expensive. So I'm constantly having to do like something else. Like I'm like, I'll drive for Uber. Sometimes, you know, I'll like, you know, I still like, I love going to theme parks. Theme parks are like my like, I think like second favorite thing in the world. Because I grew up next to Busch Gardens, and now I've got Disneyland. I've got Universal Studios where I started working when I first moved here. You know, and I'll still bartend for them every once in a while. Like I can't do anything like long-term commitment for them because of acting, but I still love doing bartending. We got Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm. We've got Six Flags. I am like a theme park freak. So, you know, I love like going on rides. I
thought you were going to say junkie.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah. Junkie. I thought it was a line.
Yeah, and I love cooking. I'm a big cook. I love like hosting parties and, you know, like feeding people, which is weird. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like, I just love like making things for other people. I love drawing. I recently kind of like delved into like, oh, what it'd be like to animate something. And so like I played around, I animated Aqua from Kingdom Hearts, which was cool.
Sick.
Yeah. And I'm just a big like I kind of dip my toe into everything. I love travel. I love any chance I get to travel. I've been all across the world. I've been to all 50 states. I've been to London, Geneva, Zurich, Munich, Tokyo, Berlin, Paris, Beijing.
A One Piece game. Yeah, I was going to say, gotta go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love travel. I love airports. I love flying. If there was one thing in my life that I had to do other than voiceover, it would be flying. I would be a flight attendant again. I would take up that life again in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, the way the industry works out there is that you have to always be on call. I can't. Yeah, it's hard to like make those lives work, which sucks, you know, because I love flying. I would do it till the day I die. But yeah,
that's awesome.
So that's a few things.
Now I gotta ask, because you know, and this is we're gonna backpedal back to the very beginning. You know, you said you were doing music out here, and what kind of music were you into and like producing yourself?
So I was never like a genius when it came to music. I was good at it. Like I knew how to play instruments and I knew how to sing and things like that. But I was really into post-hardcore music. I still am. I love bands like Silverstein, Alexana. Man, trying to think who else. Those are two. Say Anything, like I'm into the pop punk, that sort of thing. Always have been, probably always will be. Yeah, dude. I was supposed to see Silverstein in November of last year or something, but I had a con, and I was like, oh, I'm out of town. It's so sad.
I think they just dropped a new record not too long ago.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan. I found a few good songs in it, but I was like, I don't know why this isn't like my jive right now. It's weird. But no, I was really into post-hardcore. I love playing guitar. I love just having the chance to make something different and new, and
that's right.
Just
sometimes
depends.
You got to disrespect your surroundings,
Yes,
what I mean?
ADTR. Yes,
that's what you got to do.
I'm such a fan of ADTR. Yeah, dude, I'm into all of that, man. But yeah, it's crazy because I never put out any music. I just always was working on it, and just was always just oh, it's a theory, and I'm a perfectionist, so my brain never allowed me to really put anything out there. But yeah, no, I mean, I still love doing it. I'll occasionally do it nowadays. But my schedule has been so crazy that I don't get to do it with the same fervor that I used to. But yeah, I still love traveling. I still love going to cons. I still love meeting people and, just examining the world around me, because I feel like all that lends to being a better actor, because the more life experience you have,
exposure,
more things you can play, and the more people you can learn to portray. And you may not nail it every time, not saying everybody who travels is going to be a natural born actor, but it allows you to see the world for what it is, and it's a big place, and you are a very tiny thing in the grand cosmos of the universe, I suppose. Absolutely. You want to call it.
Even here in Virginia, bro, if you ain't from the 757, it's a whole different Virginia. You know what I mean? Y'all are way different. In Northern Virginia is nothing like Virginia down here.
Northern Virginia, hey, people in the 757 say none of those other states even matter. I mean, not states, but none of those other areas matter.
Zip codes, brother. Yeah,
man, right. It's crazy. It's like a different culture.
It is, for sure.
Even here in California, when I moved here, it was like a different country. We have such a different culture, and we have such a different, way of talking to one another.
I was gonna say even slang, how you say stuff. That's crazy.
I still say y'all out here. I say y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. People,
they be like, you.
People look at me like, where the hell are you from? And I'm like,
you didn't even know you had an accent till you went out there, and they're like, why you talk like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Talk like what?
Nah, that's funny, man. But no, Brandon. So we're here at the end of the interview now, and every time before we wrap up, D, he always has his famous questions, and D, he's been sitting there, thinking what he's gonna
pondering. I see him.
Pondering.
Got the glare in the glasses.
Hey, D, about to slide the glasses up like they do in anime. But D, the floor is yours.
Okay, so first question for you. Favorite 80s or 90s movie, or both, if you have one of each.
Favorite 80s or 90s movie, or both? To be honest, I'm not too big of a movie guy. So I'm going to have to say Back to the Future is probably one of my favorites.
It's classic.
Yeah, absolute classic.
All right.
Home Alone. Home Alone is a good one.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Another classic.
Freaking amazing.
Go Ninja, go.
Yeah.
Kill.
Trying to think. I'm really big into animated movies, so I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna say Land Before Time was a big one for me growing up.
Oh yeah,
and
easy.
The Sonic the Hedgehog OVA.
That's
if
right.
you've ever watched it,
I never watched the OVA.
You may know everything I'm going to do, but I know everything that you're going to do. Strange, isn't it? That.
Oh yeah, see, I've never seen it dubbed. I've only seen it in Japanese.
We're gonna dive into that.
Yeah, I just know when I was younger.
All right.
I could like the Blockbusters near me, like I never saw them there. You know what I'm saying? And so I missed out on those Sonic OVAs, but I've heard they're good. And then when you watch like the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie that just came out, and it has so many references in it from the OVAs, like when Sonic and Knuckles fought each other and whatnot. I love Sonic the Hedgehog. And you know, since we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, it's crazy to think that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 came out in 2010, and I completely forgot about that game. And then I was just like, wasn't there a Sonic the Hedgehog 4? And I looked it up, and I don't know if you guys remember, but there was an episode 1, and then there was an episode 2, and there was supposed to be an episode 3, but the game got canceled. I don't know. Did you guys ever play that game?
Nah.
No, it was a mobile game, right?
No, it came out on the 360 and PS3, but it's like Sonic Episode 1. Pretty much, they did like updated versions of levels from Sonic 1, and then Episode 2 pretty much had updated levels from Sonic 2, but they still threw like some
that sounds kind of sweet though.
It was sweet, but at the same time, it's just like, well, why not give us something new? Like Sonic Mania, for example. Sonic Mania gave us
Sonic Mania is great.
Yeah, you know,
Sonic Mania choice.
Yeah,
yes. So good. That's a game that needs a sequel because I love Sonic Mania.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But now, go ahead, Dave.
Oh yeah, you got it. Okay, Brandon. So second question. Growing up, was there anything that spooked you, scared you, and stayed with you? Whether it was a creepy character, creepy doll, a weird lullaby, a story you heard. What do you have?
A prank? Somebody pranked you, man?
Ooh, man, something that scared me as a kid
and stayed with you. Something that lingered.
Yeah. You know how I said I'm a theme park guy, right? So I cannot stand county fairs.
Oh shit!
Like I was a kid. And my parents at the time, I think they worked at one. I'm adopted, so like I've had like different sets of parents. But so I know for a fact that my biological parents, like one of them worked at one of these county fairs. Yeah. So they would put me on these freaking like horror rides that's on the little rail cart thing. Right. That was absolutely terrifying. And so now I can't walk into like a county fair without being like, oh God, where's the scary thing? And I have to keep track of it at all times because the worst part was they had like this clown that would like follow you out of the like maze. And like
the mirror maze, man, they get you.
Yeah, man. Like a little Brandon, like little 3-year-old Brandon is just like, all the time. So that's probably one of those things. I'm trying to think, was there anything else? I think Hocus Pocus freaked me out. The movie.
Weird.
Yeah,
why? Because they were stealing souls.
Yeah, they were stealing souls.
I mean, they were stealing souls.
They shriveled up raising people, and like I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, well, that's a good one. Hey, wonderful answers. I love the answers. We get here on it.
And I'm gonna leave one more plug. Speaking of Hocus Pocus, Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the opportunity to interview Jason Marsden, who was in Hocus Pocus. So
AKA
Hey, Brandon, we doing big things up here. Hey, leveling up.
Yeah,
we like Pitbull. We Mr. Worldwide. We interviewing everybody. We interviewing people from Canada. We interviewing people from the Philippines. That's what we do up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. So, with that being said, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us up here, man. You were an awesome guest. And before we let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Sure thing, guys. You can find me on Twitter and all my social media at bwinckler, VA. It's spelled BWINCKLER, VA. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me. This was really enjoyable. It was a lot of fun.
This was awesome.
What we do
up here, man.
That's right. Tell them, big guy.
Yeah, that's
what we do. You elude us for so long.
It's finally happened. It is finally it's just like Superman and Lois. Allie, she brought the worlds together, and it finally happened. So, Trav, let them know where they can find you at in social media land.
That's right. I'm on the ZK. I'm on the Instagram. I'm all conjumbled. I'm on the Instagram at ZK Audio. I'm on the Twitter at TRAVIOSZK. I'm also on Letterboxd, ranking and rating my daily movie watches. And your boy just watched Shutter Island today. 5-star movie. I'm ready to see Mark Ruffalo get away from the MCU and get back to these five.
First time watch, Trav?
No, of course not. No.
I gotta ask, man. There's a lot of movies out there. Hey, great movie. Love the plot.
That's right.
Yep. Oh, and hey, you can find me.
We gonna find you on Shutter Island?
I hope not. Hey, thinking I'm one of the detectives, but I was an inmate the whole time. Hey, I thought I was a podcaster. Oh no. No, but you can find me at rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. And Banks, if they need a hero, not on Shutter Island, where can they find one?
Hey, you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, Brandon, for joining us up here on a new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Thank you, everybody, for watching this interview. Make sure you check out some more interviews that we have here on the channel, along with reviews and reaction videos. Check out our podcast, where we have brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below in the descriptions. And then interviews like this, the video of it is up on YouTube every Friday. So with that being said, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.